Welcome to News with a View, a fatcatproduction.com. And Fat Cat Productions will be right up over here as soon as I edit it. Right now, this is a live feed, so there are no edits in here. It's Fat Cat Productions, News with a View. Your host, me, John A. Costa. Today is July. I keep doing that, and I wrote June 10th on my thing here. It's July 10th. This is what happens. We went to the Socrates Station last night, local bistro by me, and I partied a little bit too hardy, and I'm paying for it today, folks. But this is not June, July. It's July 10th. This is episode 101. Shout out to Bob in New York. Just got off the phone with him. Was running a little bit late here, but he was worth it. Spending time with my buddy Bob. My person that keeps me on the path and tells me, "You're ranting. You're ranting. Now you're ranting. Now you just should be flailing your arms." And I tell him, "Shut up. Shut up. It's not ranting when you're right." So, all right. Today, FBI Director X and ex-CIA Director, this is Comey and Brennan, are under investigation by Trump Justice Department in a CNN article. So we'll discuss that in a second. Judge blocks Trump's birthright citizen order despite Supreme Court ruling, and we'll discuss that. GOP representative says he believes Epstein files were destroyed. And more details revealed on the suspects in Independence Day ICE attack. And there's another one that I might just shove in here. But I might save that for tomorrow. So we'll see. All right, we're going to get right into the show. And of course, later on, the topics will be here in the recorded one that will go out much later this evening. It's 4 o'clock now. I'm doing the show. Normally I would do the show at 12 noon, but I just couldn't do it. All right. So, ex-FBI Director Comey and ex-CIA Director Brennan under investigation, and it says by Trump's Justice Department. Well, it's just the Justice Department, but I know everyone, Biden, DOJ, Obama, DOJ. So, yeah, you want to use that, go ahead. That's fine. I'm good with that. The referral came after Ratcliffe last week released a review that criticized a 2016 U.S. intelligence assessment that Trump always, they were out to get me. And his allies that found Russian President Putin sought to intervene in the election on Trump's behalf. Well, I'm not saying that didn't happen, but so the assessment was conducted through an atypical and corrupt process under the political charged environment of Director Brennan and former FBI Director Comey. So this is a quote from Ratcliffe. At the center of the dispute are statements by both men to Congress about the 2016 investigation into Russian interference and their decision to look into the matter, which was funded by a Clinton campaign which alleged coordination between the Russian government and people associated with the Trump campaign. And so Brennan had said, nobody from the FBI or Department of Justice or CIA has reached out to me at all, so I'm just waiting to hear more about what this might be. And Brennan gave that assessment on MSNBC, where he is a content contributor for MSNBC. And he said, I'm clueless about what happened. Well, actually, I'll read his quote. I am clueless about what is exactly that they may be investigating me for. And that was Brennan. Now, that's fine. DOJ investigates lots of people and never do anything with it. They either say, hey, the case is flimsy, I don't know, no, or you didn't find anything. We looked. We shook that tree. Nothing came out of it. So it's interesting because the Department of Justice, they can look in at you. Now, anything they request as far as material that they normally would not have access to, they would have to get a subpoena and go to the courts and go, this is why we're doing this. And they get a subpoena and they could get your bank records or your cell phone data, or whatever it is, your computer, they can look at that. Now, of course, the safest bet for, Brennan is to say, I don't know. I have no idea what they're investigating me for. Which would be a true statement. He's not trying to mislead anyone. He's just saying, news to me. No one from that office has contacted me. No one, contacted me to say, hey, ex-CIA guy, I just got a phone call. Well, what up with that? What tweaked me was that President Donald Trump on Wednesday accused former FBI Director James Comey and ex-CIA Chief John Brennan, two prominent critics under criminal investigation, of being crooked, and said they may have to pay a price. Now, I do not think that President Trump should have said that. When asked, he was asked that question by a reporter. And I think President Trump should have been advised way beforehand that if this comes up in a conversation, to say, please, you have to speak to the Department of Justice. If there's an active investigation going on, I can't say anything. So, I can't say, hey, they're crooked, or this is of being crooked, and they may have to pay a price. This is a guy, and I said this, and I'll keep saying it. I'm a person about rights. Your rights are my rights are your rights. I don't like any of them being played with or monkeyed with, because when they do that, they could be doing that to me, or my family, or people I love, or people I know, or just people or citizens. Now, by Trump going on and saying this, if there is an investigation, don't even know if there's an investigation, and don't even know what it's about. But let's say they do find something, and now they want to charge him, or both, or one, or neither. It doesn't, But if they charge him, and they go, we're going to take this to court. Now, any defense lawyer is going to go to a possible juror and said, "Did you ever hear the president say anything about these two gentlemen, or this gentleman, or whoever's, John Brennan? Let's say it's Brennan. That's in trouble. Comey gets a walk, but Brennan doesn't." And they go, "Well, no, I mean, Trump didn't like the guy. Trump didn't like a lot of guys, but they're not going to ask it like that, and they're not going to allow you to answer it like that. They're going to say, I'm just asking you now, did you ever hear the president speak about John Brennan?" "Yes." "Okay. Do you recall what you heard the president say?" And they go, "Well, I know he didn't like him, and, that's kind of, he was always bad-mouthing these people." "And that's all you remember him saying?" And they might go, "Well, listen, I heard him say that, listen, they're crooked and they may have to pay a price." And the question then comes down, can you be unbiased? Can you put that out of your head when it comes time to hear evidence placed against my client? And then, "Well, yeah. Well, you didn't sound too confident with that." And the lawyer the prosecuting lawyer will go, "Hey, he answered the question. He answered the question." And guess what happens? That guy's off the list. So you pollute the jury pool by doing this. Now, 1970, President Richard Nixon made a public statement declaring Manson guilty directly or indirectly of 8 murders without reason. The comment made during an impromptu press briefing caused a significant stir in the legal community and led Manson's defense attorney to immediately file for a mistrial. Now, this was during the trial. But it shows where the president, who's at the top of the executive branch, well, if the president said it, hey, you support the president? Yeah, sure. And if he said this, well, he wouldn't say unless it was true. Well, you see the problem that happens. And being at the top of the food chain, being responsible for that, words have consequences. And even though the judge ruled in the Manson case that wasn't compelling enough to cause a mistrial, I always personally thought that was a bad decision by Judge Older, who ultimately denied the motion and said, "No, president interfering with the judicial process and potentially influencing the jury despite their sequestration." So the jury was already sequestered and didn't hear the president say that. But, let's say there was a hung jury. Or let's say one of them go, "I did hear something about that and we were talking about that." Bang, gone. That case is over. The mistrial, and you got to start over again with a whole new jury and start all over again. President Trump should not be expressing the guilt or the innocence of anyone that's being under investigation by his department and his administration. I, private citizen, can have that. I can get up here and go, "I think that guy's a crook. I think he's an angel." I can do that. He's a public figure. I could do that. The president should not. And if the president was going to make any comment about it, he might have said, listen, Department of Justice will handle it. And if they find a reason to take it to trial or to go further with it, they'll do it. And if it goes to trial, they will have a chance to either have a bench trial or be tried by a jury of their peers. Now, Trump didn't like it when people said he was guilty and spouted that out. He shouldn't be making those remarks. Bad form, Mr. President. And I've said before, I will call people out that I feel, and I think he did. I think he shouldn't have been saying that he steps on the rights of these people. Guilty or innocent, they have the right to have a jury that can be as guaranteed as possible as being void of a bias of the people, just to start off with. You could be swayed by the evidence presented. That is certainly, what a trial is all about. And it's supposed to be confrontational. But not like this. I don't want to see anyone tried in the press unless I'm doing it. And even worse is when the president gets involved with it. Don't do it. All right, what did I talk on that? 18 minutes or so? Well, all right. I'm done with that. That really grinds my gears. All right. Judge Trump's birthright citizen order despite Supreme Court ruling. A federal judge on Thursday has again barred President Donald Trump's administration from enforcing his executive order limiting birthright citizenship nationwide, after the Supreme Court restricted the ability of judges to block his policies using nationwide injunctions. Well, and I didn't write who did this. It might have been The Hill had this story up there. And I go, well, okay. Trump's executive order can't go into effect until July 27th. So, again, like I said, until a rule comes down from the justices, everything they're doing is still good. Up until the 27th, where the justice's decision becomes enforceable. And Trump's order then becomes, hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. As the word is spoken, the deed is done. But not until that time. So, the judge, and this is Joseph Lapnetti, in Concord, New Hampshire, made the ruling after immigrant rights advocates implored him to grant class action status to a lawsuit that they filed seeking to represent any babies whose citizenship status would not be threatened, that would be threatened by the implementation of Trump's directive. So it went from he changed it to a class action suit. I don't know if you'll be successful in that because you'd have to name the plaintiff. Class action only affects the people that are in the class action. And you can't say, well, it's all the people. No, no. You have to have that list of people that's in that class action. And they go, well, that's a class. That's a class of people. No, it doesn't really work that way. So even though President Trump won his argument on nationwide, you know, nationwide decisions like a district judge can do, the ruling doesn't go into effect till the 27th. So the judge is legally can do what he pleases, and business as usual until the 27th. Now, everyone can make the argument, but there's wiggle room in there. And this is why it was so important that a decision be made. And they can have a date in there because it gives parties time to fix their suits. It's allowed. It didn't violate anything. And just because just because they said, like, and it bothered me, restricts the ability of judges to block his policies using a nationwide injunction. It doesn't take effect. And until it takes effect, have at it. Them's the law. And you might not like it, and Trump might not like it. And people say, well, these people are gaming the system a bit. Well, yeah. Yeah. Guess what? It's not gaming the system if it's allowed. Just so you know. And I've said it before, I'm a Republican. I don't consider myself MAGA. I'm a constitutionalist. I like, that we have a constitution and we can follow it and we can have it explained to us and we can have it defined to us by the robes of either the state Supreme Court or the federal Supreme Court. The U.S. Constitution, the Supreme Court is the highest. Our federal Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. Their decisions cannot be appealed. They can be revisited and ask for another opinion. But there is no appeal. You can't go, Your Honor, I'd like to appeal the decision. I think it was erroneously. Nope. Can't be done. It's over, Johnny. But it can't be revisited. And I don't think this is anywhere near finished yet. I still say Trump will win his birthright argument. Bob in New York. I know he's throwing a bottle cap right at that screen right now. Don't break your monitor. I don't even think you even use a monitor anymore, Bob, do you? I think you do everything off your phone. But you might. I don't know. But I think, personally, I think Trump is going to win that argument. And it will start from the 27th. That going forward from that date, any babies born here of illegals on temporary status, that's on a visa, green card holders, you're good. And I think documented people, you're good. I don't think you have anything to worry about. Uh, People here that are here illegally or in TPS or visiting here on a school visa, whatever, no bueno. So, and that's, this was more sensationalism to say they're going against Trump's, the Supreme Court. No, they're not. They're actually following the ruling of the Supreme Court. So I applaud them. Because the President Trump's executive orders don't go into effect till the 27th of July. Right? We all know that. So do you put this under the heading of fake news? I do. I put that under the heading of fake news. It's not news. It's a fake narrative. It might not be fake news, but it's a fake narrative. Today, at 6:02 a.m., the sun came up on the east coast of the United States. And at 8:39 p.m. tonight, will set on the west coast of the continental United States, and 3 hours later on the great state of Hawaii. Really, you might as well have said that too. Because the article was meaningless. And it had a narrative that was a fake narrative. And I don't like anyone being misled unless I'm doing it. And then I'm a genius. Then I'm the Pied Piper of the media. But I don't like stories like that. And people will believe it. People will say, see, it's effing Democrats. And it's not. It's lawyers following the ruling, doing what they're supposed to do. And they want to make it look bad. Can you believe it? The nerve. Oh, that judge should be thrown out on his ear. No. No. Not at all. And again, I'm not of course I'm not a Democrat. But Democrats follow the law too, you know. So, you don't have a problem with that, right? No one out there has a problem with that because Democrats follow the law too. Republicans follow the law. Judges follow the law. And when they don't follow the law, they get in trouble. Ask Judge Dugan in Milwaukee what happens when a judge doesn't follow the law. Yeah. Now, doing some reading and all that, I still say that for her to be well, I take that back. Because I'm not versed enough on it. Normally what happens is if you need to impeach a judge, you have to go through, and for a state, I'm sure it's the same way with the federal, you got to go through the Senate, and the representatives, the state congressmen, not the representatives in Congress, the state, and then go to the Senate and remove her, and then you could slap her. I think that's what needs to be done. I think the feds can charge her. I think the feds can charge her, and they're screaming about giving her immunity because federal judicial or whatever. No, I don't think that's going to hold. So, all right. GOP rep says he believes Epstein's files were destroyed. Does he? Representative Tim Burchett, a Republican from Tennessee, said Wednesday he believes a client list associated with disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein once existed but was destroyed by the Biden administration. Well, I can believe that too. I could believe in Martians. I could believe that the moon is made of cheese. I can believe that. And he can believe that. But to make a statement like that, I would hope, as a man in his position, that he would say there's facts to that. And he might be 100% correct. Yeah, just show the facts. Can you at least show me the breadcrumbs to lead me there? Can you connect the dots? Oh, he goes on, I think the files existed at one time in an interview with News Nation. And that's why I don't go to News Nation to get my information from. Or Breitbart. Won't do it. On the show On Balance with host Leland Veteran. I think they were destroyed in a previous administration. So the Justice Department released a memo earlier this week concluding that Epstein did not keep such a list that was allegedly used to blackmail high-profile individuals, contradicting conspiracy theories circling for years that suggested otherwise. And the memo also concluded that the convicted sex offender died in his New York City jail cell in 2019 by suicide, denying other claims that he died under suspicious circumstances. Well, number one, here's what I believe. The day that happened, he had his lawyer appearing. Yet there was no guards, there was nothing, no one manning anything. Just asking. You read it. You know it. We all know that. He was in one of the top security detention areas in New York, and no one was working that night. One guy went home sick. The other guy went out for a turkey sandwich or something. Yeah, I mean, it was just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I believe. And that's just me. That Jeffrey Epstein is alive and well somewhere. And you don't think that he didn't have a list? Now, of course he had a list. I have a list. Bob, you're on it. So you know, but you know that. But the idea that he wouldn't have business records, he was a financier. He was a procurer. His job was to procure people. People that normally couldn't associate with one another. He was the middle guy to go, hey, fly out to my island. have a drink, relax. There's going to be people there you want to meet, that want to meet you. That could be very beneficial to you, very beneficial to him, and in the end, very beneficial to me. And if you don't want to come, don't come. You know, but you have an open invite. And he would do this for the CIA. He would do this for the KGB. He would do this for the Chinese intelligence. Anyone that was willing to pay. He was a procurer. And you're telling me he didn't have a list? Yeah, I don't believe it. But I want proof that a list was destroyed by the Biden administration. I'd like proof of that, instead of just you saying it. And as a representative, you carry some clout behind you. The only thing I carry is about an extra 45 pounds that my doctor wants me to lose. That's it. I mean, it's mind-boggling. I'd like to know. But does it matter? And I said this, I think, on yesterday's show. It doesn't change my life. Oh, there was a list. Oh, my God, I can finally go to sleep tonight. No, doesn't mean jack. Well, it means the government was covering up. Well, the government lied to us? Yeah, come on. Come on. Grow up. Grow up. You have secrets. You don't think the government doesn't have secrets? Again, I'm talking to you, Bob, in New York. All right. And this is one I like. More details revealed on suspects in an Independence Day ICE attack in Texas. Now, I said they prevented an attack. It didn't happen. They actually attacked them. The reason it ended the way it did was because the people were shooting jammed their gun. Some of the suspects charged with attempted murder of 2 ICE agents and a police officer in Prairie Lane Detention Center in Alvarado, Texas on Independence Day met in an online chat group on Signal, and court records show the incidents could have been worse. A criminal complaint filed in the District Court of the Northern District of Texas alleges that the assailant shot 20 to 30 rounds from an AR-15 style rifle before it jammed, causing it to malfunction. You know why it jammed? They used Japanese ammo. Not Japanese, Chinese ammo. That doesn't give you the necessary blowback to eject the cartridge out. Use cheap ammo, you should have used Federal. Investigators continued on Tuesday to look into how the suspects were linked, including through a possible Signal group chat. 10 individuals are facing federal charges, including 3 counts of attempted murder of federal agents, in addition to 3 counts of discharging a firearm in relations to a crime of violence. In it, an 11th suspect, Daniel Rolando Sanchez Estrada. Last night, that getting that out of my mouth was hard, and I butcher everything normally. He was charged with concealing evidence. So what happens if the police come to your house and go, got a search warrant. We're looking for this. Where is it? I don't know what you're talking about. And they open a drawer and they go, well, I'm talking about this. Or you had it in a secret compartment and somehow the police knew about it. And they go, what's this? Now, if it was in your drawer, I got literature. I just threw it in the drawer. I just never got to read it. I don't know. What does it say? What is it? But if you took the time to put it in a secret drawer somewhere or taped it under something, well, and you didn't tell them that's what you're looking for, it's right over there. And see, that's what happens when they knock on your door, and you ain't a lawyer. You're not going to know this. I'm not a lawyer either, but I know it. And you can exercise your Fourth Amendment right, and they go, it's this letter, this warrant, pardon the expression, trumps your Fourth Amendment right. But you exercise it. And they go, we're looking for this. Where is it? If he would have exercised his Fifth Amendment right and just sat down and said, I exercise my Fifth Amendment rights. This is my name. This is my address. This is my house or my apartment. That's it. I told you that now. Now I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment rights till I have a lawyer present with me. That's it. No more talking. No more. I have nothing else to say. Nope. Just shut up. You know what would have happened? They would have found it. And he probably wouldn't be charged. I didn't stop them from looking. I didn't mislead them. They had a warrant. I tried to exercise my Fourth Amendment rights. They said, nope. I told them who I was. That was it. Again, if they want to go fishing, and this is the pond, put your lure in there. Doesn't mean I have to put the fish on the hook for you and bring it up to you. Those are your rights. Know your rights. Even though these are horrible, despicable, alleged people, they still have rights. Criminals have rights. And people that are innocent of a crime have rights. And they're the same rights. On Friday night, the heavily armed group lured two unarmed ICE agents into a parking lot by firing a barrage of fireworks at their door and painting graffiti on their personal cars with the words "traitor" and "ice pig," which agents could see from their cameras inside. At around the same time, a police officer responded to their 911 call for two men firing rounds from a nearby tree line. And a responding officer was hit in the neck, which forced the agents to take cover. The officer who was hit is expected to recover, and that's from the Department of Homeland Security. The suspects, and I won't bother reading their names here. Bradford Morris was arrested while trying to flee from the scene in a red Hyundai van. Yeah, trying to use a Kia to escape. I don't know how that's a good idea. And mostly red. While in custody, he told an FBI agent he had been part of a signal group chat for a while and that he had been invited to the group chat years ago after attending a protest. He drove to the incident with another suspect and two people he only knew by their nicknames, Champagne and Rowan. Inside Morris's van, police found a revolver, two AR-15 rifles, two Kevlar vests, a ballistic helmet, and a loaded magazine. Not like a Mad magazine, a gun magazine. According to the criminal complaint, Morris claimed that he met some people online and transported some of them down from Dallas to the center in order to make some noise. Police also found 7 suspects in black military fatigues wandering in a field 300 yards away, some of them who were covered in mud from trying to escape on foot. They also had weapons, vests, and radios. Alex Del Carmen, a criminologist, said one possibility is that they are related, and this is some national concerted effort to go after first responders. Court records revealed extensive planning as well as anti-government literature obtained in the apartment tied to the suspect, including literature entitled Organizing for Attack, Insurrectionary Anarchy. And I said in my podcast that this attack was the definition of what insurrection is. Not trespass. Not trespass. And you had some of those people, hang Pence, hang Pence. You hear people, death to Trump. Death to the king. You know, no kings. You know, it doesn't mean anything. Now, would they have tried to hang Pence? Yeah. But that didn't happen. Screaming outside, and I considered it that's a crime to me. That's hate speech. But is it allowed? Running through the hallway screaming that, I mean, with no guns or no rope. No one had a rope with them. Yeah, that was an insurrection. That could be a riot. That could be trespass. That could be, destroying government property and general mayhem. But insurrection, no. And organizing for the attack literature, the word organizing was spelled incorrectly on the leaflet. So it wasn't probably a professional leaflet. It was probably one of these things that you put on a laser printer and then fold this way, fold this way, fold that way, and you print your own ones to hand out. And what these geniuses don't know is that every printer has a code in the ink in that printing somewhere that will identify it. So you know. Just like if you try to scan money in your scanner to print money, no bueno, won't work, because they have software in there that defeats that. Now, there's ways to defeat the software. At that point, you're really deep in criminal activity. I don't recommend that you do that. I don't recommend that you violate our laws. It's not good stewardship of your citizenship. All right, we've been up here for 50 minutes talking. this is who bought the vests? Who bought the guns? Who said let's shoot the place up? And was it part of a global outfit? Now, I saw some of the pictures on these people, and wow, wow. I realized that the pictures that they got of them are people that are now realizing, hey, I effed up. And I'm going to be in a lot of trouble here, right, fellas? And that guy, that Bradford Morris, while in custody, he told an FBI agent, I'm sure that FBI agent told him, hey, listen, Morris, Bradford, Bradford, probably wouldn't use this first name. You in a heap of trouble. See the sunlight through that window? Remember it, because that's the last time you're seeing it like that. Unless you work with us. And maybe you were misguided. Maybe, you met up with the wrong people, Were you stoned? Were you drunk? Did they threaten you? If you didn't do this, you got that far, we got you. We got you with the guns. We got you with all this. We got you with that. Those people are going to... We haven't spoken to them yet. But we will. Maybe you talk to us. We can go... This would go heavy on you. Or it could be not so heavy. I can't promise you get a walk here. But you do this, you might be able to see your grandchildren one day if you have children. I can't guarantee that. But you work with me. And then, of course, they'll get a lawyer, and the lawyer, what did you tell them? I told them this, 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 and this. But, the one agent said if I worked with them, and the lawyer will be, oh my God, what did you do? You talked to him? Did you ask for your rights? Were your rights given to you? How'd the agent ask? Because they can trick you. They go, hey, everything all right, man? You okay? You good? Calm down. Calm down. It's going to be all right. And this guy could have just been, I did this. I never asked him the question. He voluntarily gave me that information. I voluntarily gave him that information. All right. Did they give you your rights? Well, no, we didn't get that, but it all just spilled out. All right. When they gave you the rights, did you continue talking? Yeah. Well, all right. No. Let me go speak to them. All right. Hey, listen. I'm going to, of course, ask the courts to toss out his confession. But before I do that, you tell me how my client can help you and how I can get my client the best possible outcome here. Not a deal, but just the best possible outcome for him. And they'd sit down. They'd go, well, let's go in and talk to your client. And then they go, well, no. You don't talk to him like that. I'll tell him, not to say a word. You said enough. I want to hear from you what we can do to get him the best possible outcome And if that's cooperating with you, I want to be there with him. I want to advise him. But I also want to know what you can do for him. You know, and they go back and forth. Well, what do you want for him? I want immunity from everything. If he's truthful with you on every step of the process here, I want him to get immunity. I want him to go into witness protection. And they might laugh and go, no, we don't need any of that. We got enough to convict everyone now just from what he told us. And the lawyer goes, well, maybe there's stuff he didn't tell you yet. We don't know what we don't know. I haven't asked him yet. So, because, you know, the lawyer is an officer of the court. He can't go in there and tell him this is, you know, can't have the client lie. Can't do that. So, and, you know, you see these things in these TV shows and you sit back and you go, well, yeah. You know, it's getting a little loosey-goosey there, but, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but I've seen enough Columbo episodes. Kojak. But I date myself. But this is what happens. And they'll get one of these people, and it goes, if I don't get it from your client, I'm going to get it from one of the other guys. And this guy's got enough on here, what he had over here, and what he said. Yeah. 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 Your client, if they were about insurrection and treason and all this stuff, you go, we could have them tied to a post and shot. So, if he wants to help us, that's great. We're not making any promises. If he doesn't, well, I'll get one of those people to do it. I got 10 more people that I can go to. Your guy is the first one. And you go back and go back and forth and go, we can work something out here. Let's come in, talk to him. And, you know, he might be able to hand you stuff, and we want something for that. You know, drop the gun charge, drop this, or take away that, you know, and he can plead to this, and he'll plead guilty to this. You don't have to go to court. You could just take him, boom, and then use him as a witness. And he's yours. Or you can give him immunity, and he'll tell you everything. Everything he knows, he'll tell you. And he'll agree that if he lies, deceives you, decepts you, sends you down the wrong track, deal is gone. He faces all these charges head on. Now the ball's in your court. And that's the way it's done. And these 10 people that they got here, except for the possibility of one of these people who look real shady, you know, they might not have any associations with the court, never been in trouble before, you know, might be a lost soul out there, might be a radical, but they never did anything other than protest and spray paint a car, or, you know, simple vandalism, you know. Yeah, so you vandalize a federal agent's car or a federal, yeah, right, you know, yeah, you could bring a whole bunch of charges in there. It's still going to be vandalism. You know, it's whoever shot that gun. And if all these people said, we're going to go there and we're going to shoot the place up, we're going to F these people up, we're going to bring these pigs down. We're going to show them we mean business. You had that representative, that official out of California who said that the gang members should be out there in the streets confronting ICE and protecting their turf. That's what you had. So, you got a lot of that going on out there. And this is the rhetoric that leads into crap like this. From the representative out of Washington State, Jayapal, who said she gets most invigorated when she sees people surround ICE. This is what causes this crap. This fake empowerment. To think that you're going to do something special by injuring an agent. And she'll go, I never said injure, I just said, no, you're inciting. I'd love to see her charged. Love to see her charged. Did it to Trump. But no guns were used with Trump. It'd be the only insurrection where no weapons were ever used. This was part of an insurrection, and they admitted it with their leaflets, and this guy, they'll admit it. So, all right, with that, I'm going to say good night. Now I am over an hour. I'm an hour and 2 minutes on this. All right, my closing, I should just put it on a loop. Give to a charity. Make sure the charity is bona fide, and you go to the charity. Don't have that charity come to you. Don't be a victim helping a victim. If you feel uncomfortable doing that, or hey, I only got $10. I don't want to go there and just give them $10. I feel bad. They'll take the $10, believe me. But go to your food store, buy an extra 4 cans of beans or SpaghettiOs with meatballs. They're on sale 89 cents. Pick up a couple of cans. Vienna sausages. Roast beef in a tin. Those little ham things, which are delicious. And donate that if you can. What I like to do is buy one, get one free. All right, I'm paying, $2.99 for something that every once in a while is on sale for $2.19, and I can wait, but I'll buy that because I'm going to get one for free. And I'll give that one that I get for free over to the church group or community center, wherever you want to donate your food to. A soup kitchen or something. And you get this stuff, and you get it for free. Sometimes they go, buy one, get one free. Buy 2, get 1 free. Do it. If you're going to use it, do it. And take that free one. You get 8 or 9 items like that. Didn't cost you anything. And you give it to the church group or whatever group you want to give it to. And you might say, oh, man, what is 4 cans going to do? Well, 500 people did that. Every week. But you don't think 4 cans is, not Kansas, but 4 cans are. And you go, what's that? To someone that doesn't have it. That's everything. So, try to do that. Say a prayer. Prayer works. Believer in it. Be good to one another. We never know what's in store 2 minutes from now. So be good to one another. And with that, I'm going to say good night. Bob, it was great. I talked to you for like 3 days now. And we just had one yelling match. That was wonderful. All right, with that, I'm going to say good night. I'm going to fade to black.